Hello everyone. Once more, good morning. We are 6 minutes behind time, so we'll just get right into it. My name is Priscilla Igba. I'm the Financial Secretary of Internet Society Nigeria chapter, and I welcome everyone to this special event that we as Internet Society of the Nigerian chapter, we have taken our time to celebrate the International Women's Day. So on our agenda, the first item we have to take the second stanza of the national anthem. So I'll just go. O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. So right now, I'll pass the mic to Madam Bukola, who will give us our welcome address. Madam Bukola, over to you, ma'am.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me clear.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much, Priscilla. Once again, good morning. My name is Bukola Oronti, and I am the Treasurer for Internet Society Nigeria chapter. And once again, I welcome you all to this webinar and panel discussion in celebration of the International Women's Day for the year 2023. I bring greetings to you from the President of the Internet Society Nigeria chapter, in person of Caleb Ogundele, and from all the other members of the chapter executives. We do appreciate your taking time out to join this call, and we are grateful to all our panelists for creating the time from their busy schedules to be present at this call. Also, based on the theme of this webinar, why bother? Digital innovation and technology for gender equality. We are gathered actually to learn from our seasoned panelists and even from all members of this call what this year's celebration means to us as women, irrespective of our career path, how we all can leverage on technology and be as creative and innovative as our main counterparts in this tech space. I believe we have one or two things to learn from the conversations coming up, and I encourage us all to be attentive, and we should feel free to ask questions when the floor is open, and we can also contribute to the conversation either via the chat room or when the floor is open for contributions. Without further ado, I once again welcome us all, but then I will like to acknowledge the presence of some of our veterans in the field. I can see Nina Wakama on the call. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Internet Society's Esther, Kioni for being on the panel, and many more. So once again, thank you all for coming to this call. And I release the mic back to you, Priscilla. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Bukola, for that welcome speech. So the next item we have on the agenda is the introductions. I'm just going to do a brief introduction of the ESCOs that are here present. Myself, I've introduced myself. I'm the Financial Secretary for Internet Society. We also have Madam Bukola, who just spoke, who is the Treasurer. And also on this call, we have the moderator, who is Madam Chinwe. She's our Program Secretary. Also on this call, we are privileged to have Esther Kioni, who is the Senior Director and Training and Learning, ISOC Global. Esther's accumulated experience was instrumental in the deployment of ICT solutions in more than 300 schools and the capacity building of more than 5,000 educators in various capacities. She has been involved in the design and evaluation of education technologies projects in Kenya, in Tanzania, Namibia, Ghana, Uganda, Rwanda, Nigeria, and recently in the SADC region. In the last 10 years, she has been an active practitioner in the conceptualization, actual implementation, and management of e-learning projects targeted at improving teacher education practice through the use of ICT. Projects that Esther has actively contributed to include the contextualization of the UNESCO ICT competency framework in Rwanda, Nigeria, and Tanzania under World Bank Pt.1 project, in Kenya for the technical and vocational education sector, and in Uganda in the China Funds in Trust project to enhance teacher education through active teaching and learning pedagogy. Welcome once again, Madam Esther Kioni. We also have on this panel, Madam Mercy Ikpe. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Mercy Ikpe is a software developer who is familiar with front-end technologies. She has experience building web applications using JavaScript, React.js, Node.js. She's a co-founder of PHP Sandbox. She's an online development environment for building PHP applications. Outside of software development, she speaks regularly at tech conferences across Africa. She's an ex-Google student developer lead, an ex-organizer of Node.js Akwa Ibom, and a member of Start Hub Women, a community of young women in technology and entrepreneurship to champion the visibility of women in our society. Welcome once again, Ms. Esther Ikpe. We also have on this call, Ms. Elizabeth Kolade, who is a cybersecurity professional. She is a cybersecurity professional and a Young African Leaders Initiative Yali Fellow, and has been a part of several multi-stakeholder engagements on cybersecurity in and outside Africa. She was listed as one of the top 50 women in cybersecurity in Africa in 2020. In 2021, she was named a global influencer in the ISOC Global Awards under the Security One to Watch category, and was soon after nominated for the 2021 Young CISO of the Year Awards. Elizabeth served as a member of the Presidential Committee, which reviewed and produced Nigeria's National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy NCPC 2021. She is the current director of membership of the Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria, CISON, and remains an ever-avid advocate for the education of women in technology. She's currently the executive director at Resilience Technologies and a PhD researcher at the University of Bristol, United Kingdom. Welcome, Ms. Elizabeth Kolade. We also have on this call, Dr. Oladunni Daramola, who is an associate professor of FUTA. She's in the Department of Information Technology in the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria. She's a member of Nigeria Computer Society, Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World, Computer Science Professionals, Internet Society, International Association of Engineers. Dr. Daramola Oladunni holds a Bachelor of Technology in Industrial Mathematics, Master of Technology, and PhD in Computer Science. Her research interest centers on the area of information technology, enterprise solutions, data communications, computer networks, and models for solving real-life problems. Dr. Daramola has over 40 publications in reputable journals and conference proceedings, both locally and internationally. We welcome you, Dr. Oladunni. Also on this, we have Kelechi Achinonu, who is the founder of TechLawyered. She's a Nigerian lawyer with a passion for using technology to make the law more efficient and accessible. She's a UN Foundation Next Generation Fellow for Justice and a Young Justice Leader at the Pathfinders for Peaceful, Just, and Inclusive Societies. She's the founder of TechLawyered, She's a founder of TechLawyered, a platform that advocates for more tech inclusion in law and highlights profiles of amazing innovators in the justice ecosystem in Africa. She's also the regional manager of the Hague Institute for Innovation of Law, HIL, West Africa, designing and implementing strategies to make justice available for all in a user-friendly manner, contributing to HIL's mission of ensuring 150 million people are able to resolve their most pressing justice problems by 2030. Welcome, Ms. Kelechi Achinonu. Lastly, we have our moderator, who is Madam Chinwe, who is also our program secretary of ISOC Nigeria chapter. She has an extensive experience in the ICT field of at least 8 years. She has developed a strong skill and capacities to effectively design, administer, and manage ICT projects. She's driven by a passion to leverage on ICT to provide scalable solutions. She has a personal objective to seek for and harness available resources to create a robust framework for knowledge and sharing and development. She strongly believes in agile and scalable IT, a firm believer in capacity building, hence her interest and work in STEM. She has volunteered and worked with organizations to empower women and girls through capacity building and pursuing a career in ICT. She's also a content creator and have used media as a tool to educate and drive social change. She has worked with NGOs to empower women and girls using ICT and other tools. She is also developing skills in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Welcome, Chinwe. And with this, I hand over the mic to you, Madam Chinwe.
All right, thank you. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the call. I'm excited to be here today, honestly. We have arguably one of the best set of panelists ever, and it's drawn from just different places, the academia, policymakers, cybersecurity specialists, tech lawyer. We'll get to hear about her journey into transition. That's Kelechi, Mercy, and everybody. Thank you so much for joining the call. Thank you, ISOC Global, for being here. Thank you. I just saw that our secretary has just joined. Oga Akimbo is a man of many parts. He has extensive knowledge and skill, in internet policy and internet governance. Thank you so much, Akimbo, for all the support, and thank you for everyone, for all the people who have taken time out to be here. I want to thank you again. Straight away, we will run into what we are to discuss. It's International Women's Day, and we just felt that why should anybody bother about technology and everything? And so that's why our topic is why bother. We're going along the global theme of the Internet Society, the IW, the International Women's Day, which is digital innovation and technology for gender equality. And so what we are trying to do today is to also lend our voice as ISOC to the global call for more women to get engaged in technology. But what we have done as a team of ESCOs is also to bring women who are doing something practically, who have also gone through their own high waters, who are blazing the trail, and who are still transitioning and moving forward in their careers. So the selection of the panel is very deliberate, and we hope that at the end of today's call, we would have moved an inch closer, to this gender equality using innovative technology. And thank you, Nina, for also joining the call. Thank you so much. She works at the World Foundation. And like I said, I can't read everybody's profile, but everybody on this call is doing amazing stuff to move technology forward and to also help with STEM. Okay, so straight away, I'm just going to start. First thing we've talked about here on what the agenda is, so why bother with technology? So I'm going to ask our panelists, why should anybody, bother with technology? Why should we even be concerned as women, as people? Why bother with technology? And I think, it looks like an obvious answer, but maybe our panelists can give us more insight into why we should bother in the first place. We can just be happy being consumers. Why bother? And the question is going to shed more light on moving us from just being consumers to producers and to people who actually engage and affect technology trends. And so I'd like to just ask our panelists, like we said, is a panelist slash chat style kind of webinar, so that they can just interact with us and tell us why should anybody bother with technology. Thank you very much. So the floor is open. Okay, so I think that, okay, maybe to make it more interactive, Elizabeth Kolade, why bother with technology? Why did you even bother with tech in the first place? Was tech your first choice, and was it something that you stumbled on? And why should anybody today bother with technology? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Chinwe. Can we hear me?
Yes, ma.
Yes,
all right,
loud
thank
and
you.
clear, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So answering the question straight away, why bother with technology? I mean, we're all in different rooms and we're having this conversation right now and we can all hear each other. And it's one conversation we're having. We're having this conversation in real time. Imagine how much time, energy, resources it has saved us not to converge in one room to have this conversation. So that's one of the reasons why we probably should bother about technology, because I mean, it makes our lives easier. Going to the second question on you asking if tech was my first choice. Not really, although I had always been science and engineering inclined, tech wasn't exactly my first choice. It's something I like to say happened by accident. I wouldn't bore you with the story, but it's been an amazing one so far. And it speaks to, I believe every human being has an inquisitive side of them. When you see things work, you want to know why things work the way they do. And over a period of time, you want to be a part of why this happens the way it does. You want to be a part of building something. And that's a mindset that helps to move us from just being consumers to producers of technology. And I hope we can discuss this subject of moving from just consumers to producers of technology in the course of this conversation, because that's one area that's, I think we really need to have more conversations around and see how we can take advantage of some of the opportunities that tech has to offer. Because as this is ISOC Nigeria as a nation and as a continent in Africa, there's a whole lot that we can offer this tech space. And I know we all understand what I'm talking about. So I hope we can elaborate more on this subject as we go on. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Interesting to find out that you stumbled on it and now you are gradually cruising and gliding your way to the top. Interesting. Okay, so to Kelechi too, why do you think we should bother? Like she said, I know that the conversation around moving from being consumers to producers, I'm also interested in that. And that has been my major drive to technology. So for Kelechi, do you think that we're making enough stride towards moving from just consuming technology to producing technology? And what would you say are the bottlenecks that we're facing? And do you have any solutions? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. So yes, I totally agree with what Elizabeth has said, and Elizabeth is my mentor in that sense, because I actually learned on my journey to becoming, I'm a lawyer, I have a background in law. My journey to become a developer, Elizabeth was one of my mentors or teachers in that sense. So yes, I agree with everything that she said. We are now at the stage where we are consuming more of technology or the byproduct of technology than sort of like on the producing side of it. And I believe that there has to be, when you are on the consuming side and you keep consuming things again and again and again, at some point the source taps out. But again, we have to balance it out where we are both consuming and we are also figuring out how to produce. Being that we are here in Africa or in Nigeria, I make bold to say that there are some parts of the world that have been able to make that transition from consumers to producers. And we are still, of course, trying to play catch up, which is like fine. Some people are there and some people are here trying to do that. And I would say that there has to be an awakening or a level of awareness where we know that we also have to be a part of the conversation of those that are producing technology as well. The bottlenecks, capacity, resources, cost, because of course it's not easy. The fact that we are able to, with the example that has begun, we are able to have this conversation. Your data is being used. I had to get this gadget, there has to be some level of lighting in that sense. So there are also some cost that comes with it. But even on the larger scale, the kind of cost that comes with, being able to produce software, being able to produce kind of technology that we need to move us forward, that is a bottleneck. The capacity as well, the expertise, the knowledge, those things are things that should be looked into one way or the other. But again, I do not think that as much as there's like a long way to go, I think that we are making some progress. There's a level of awareness right now. People are seeing the byproducts of technology. People are getting interested. When I started as well, I started talking. People called me the agent of war or something, with respect to how I was saying that, in law or as a lawyer, if you're not able, there was a conversation of, if you don't do your work, technology will take your job from you, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm happy that a lot of us now understand that technology is a tool, but at the same time, it's a tool that helps you be more productive, more effective, more efficient. There is also the conversation of ChatGPT that, has been going up and down. And now it's like, if you don't do your work, ChatGPT will take your job from you. Again, this is just a tool. So it's like we need to get to the place where we are producing more tools that help us become more efficient, more effective, more productive. We are not robots, right? We are supposed to be the ones producing in that sense. Robots, resources that do those things, while we also make use of our cognitive abilities to do the more work and not sort of like the mundane or the routine things. So yeah, that's like my take on this. Thank you.
All right. Well done, Kelechi. How you came to be a tech person and how you're still, even as a lawyer. By the way, you also found out TechLawyered. Maybe at some point you talk to us or run us through how TechLawyered throughout your journey. All right. So around your journey and every other thing else. All right. So Kelechi, just stay on the call because this next one is also for you. How to engage, starting and staying relevant and transitioning into the tech space. Can you just quickly run us through what were some of the things you had to do, bottlenecks and things that you faced? Being a lawyer, how do you transition from law into tech, and how has it been? How did you start? Yes, I think I want you to quickly share that because I know you're going to run off at some point, so everybody needs to know all of that. So yeah, thank you very much, Kelechi.
All right. So how I transitioned, I stumbled on tech, right? So my whole journey, of course, I had a background in law, and for some reason I couldn't go to law school. No, not for some reason. I couldn't go to law school because I went to University of Ibadan, the first and the best, by the way. I couldn't go there. We're going to go to law school, there's a lag. So we had some 1 year or so to do whatever I wanted to do with our lives. And I didn't want to stay at home. So I started interning in a co-working space where I met a lot of other founders. I interned for a while, and from there I got into a software company. So that's how I got into tech, right? As a business operations manager. But some way or the other, trying to interact with these tech guys, there was a lot of language or lingua here and there that I didn't understand. And it felt like I had to be in the system or the ecosystem to really understand it. So at some point, I got an opportunity to transition into tech as a developer with, I think, Visio Foundation in Abuja. I quit my job in Lagos and I went to Abuja. That's where I met Elizabeth and Chinwe. And then I learned to code. Actually, that's how I started. Came back to Lagos, went to law school, finished law school, and then got back into tech again. So, and that's how it was for me. Was it easy? No, of course, because I was coming from, there's something about if you study law, it means you don't want to have anything to do with maths. So, and then having to find my way back to that again, understanding a new field, which I think is actually a challenge that is common to everyone that tries something new. So there was that challenge for me. And thankfully, I had the right support in the beginning and, trying to combine that. Then also there was a part of, you studied law for 7 years in quotes, depending on how much of this kind of school you go to and how many times you have ASU strike. So it could be more than 7 years or less, depending. But you studied law for 7 years and then you are now going to start afresh. So there was also that those kind of doubts coming up, that was this the right thing to do and all that. Then finding a community. I'm happy that tech is the way it is right now, with respect to the conversations, the awareness, but I don't think it was like this like 4 or 5 years ago. People were still trying to have that conversation. And then, but now thankfully there are communities and there are people you can talk to, you can share your journey, you can even get a job without actually finishing just because someone sees your consistency. So I think that's like what my journey has been so far. And then I had to at some point find a nexus, because there was law on this side, there was tech on this side. I had to find a way to connect both together. And that's like what I did with TechLawyered, seeing people that are able to manage that are solving problems, solving justice problems, leveraging technology. That's like how TechLawyered actually came to be. And it's been interesting so far. So anyone looking to transition, I think just do it, right? There are a lot of fields right now. There's on data privacy, there is now on UI, UX, there's on product management. A lot of fields are coming up again every day. AI product manager, I didn't have that before, but now there is AI product manager. Maybe there will be ChatGPT product manager, who knows, right? There could be anything coming up. So just find your interest, find where you want, the niche you want to stay, explore interest as well. Today, it could be you like UI, UX. Tomorrow, it could be product management. It's okay to have multiple interests. Whatever it is that you think you want, explore them. At the end of the day, you'll be able to find a nexus to harness everything that you've learned, all your skills so far, and then excel at actually what you want to do. Then join a community and share whatever it is you are learning. There is no island of knowledge again. Everything that you want is ChatGPT is there. Forgive my reference, but then there's actually ChatGPT. There's really nothing that you want to do again, that you want to hide ideas or stuff. So share your knowledge. Talk about your journey, connect with your tribe or the community, join communities as well, be a part of people and be active in communities. Don't be like people that will be on Slack or WhatsApp and then they don't talk. They're always scrolling through messages. Actually be active so people know you're there, participate in the things that are there. And then eventually the sky is your starting point. Thank you.
All right. So, thank you so much, Kelechi. Thank you for running us through your journey and what you had to go through. We will come back to you because you still have to tell us, some other details. But thank you so much. Your story just makes it believable that someone can transition from law successfully into tech, and you're still very relevant because reading your profile and all, you've done a lot for yourself. And like you said, there's no code tech now coming up. There's something called no code tech. So if you don't want to develop, you don't want to write so much code, there's no code tech, which is also very, very valid. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have Dr. Oladunni Daramola on the call. That's somebody from the academia. And so I just wanted to share your thoughts on productive tech. What are some of the skills to learn, and how can people readily convert that into being empowered and making money, considering that you're in a learning environment or in a school environment, and you're also a researcher. So have you done any works in that area, and what would be your counsel to anybody wants to involve in productive tech? Because it's not just good enough all of it. How do you make it productive? So welcome, Dr. Oladunni. Very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And I want to congratulate every one of us on this International Women's Day celebration. I know we are going to get there. We are moving on. So talking about different skills that anyone can actually learn, there are several. We can't mention everything now, but I will just mention a few. And like we all know, we have several of these skills. Web development is one of it. And I'm sure a number of people are actually into web development. And talking about blockchain technology, we have blockchain technology. I think, was it the first speaker that talked about content creation? So we have content creation, content marketing, digital marketing, cloud computing. I think Kelechi also mentioned UX, UI the other time. And big data is there, and AI and machine learning is also there. So there are several of these skills that anyone can actually learn and make money from. Like you said, we have a number of people doing a number of things in many of these. And in school, we actually teach some of these. We may not be able to teach everything in details. Like, we have curriculum and whatever we have to teach, but most of these things are learned now in schools, not like in the olden days where we just, in our own time, it was just all about going to the lab and then seeing the system at just one point or the other. But these days, everybody has access to knowledge, especially now online. So you can have access to some of these things. And like you said, skills are very important if you have to be relevant, even in the tech world. So you need your skill, you need to hone your skill, you need to know what you're doing. Basically, you are given the basic knowledge in the university, and then you have to, on your own, move on to learn more about it. In fact, I really appreciate the story of Kelechi, how she transitioned from law to tech, and you can see that she had to take on a lot of learning, and she had to put in a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time, determination into it. So the skills are there, and you can always make money, profit, career from these skills if you are ready to put in all it takes to make a career out of it. Like you said, being a researcher, I've been involved in teaching, research, and community service, and I've actually participated in a number of work that has translated into products, and that people are using. People who are interested in getting app or whatever to solve a particular problem consult with us. So I've been involved in consultation for many organizations in creating apps or websites for their products, and app that they can use in their businesses so that they can make more profit. Like we said, we need to bother with technology, just like the first speaker also said, because in every facet of life, technology is needed, is used for growth and development. And these are the things that any business, any organization that will grow and develop to an enviable position will need most of these skills that we are talking about. And there are several organizations who are in need of these skills. So every time, every moment, there are job requests for many of these skills. And anyone that will be relevant will need to understand and be really skillful in any of these. What is needed is that whatever skill you have decided to go into, just make sure that you develop yourself to the point that you continue to be relevant and you continue to be useful so that people can actually call on you, because it's your skill, is how well you are able to actually do what you do that will determine whether people will refer to you, or people will reckon with you, or people will actually call on you to come and do one thing or the other. So whatever skill, whether it is blockchain technology or web development, or even in this AI world now, then you need to actually understand your skill and be able to do what you are doing properly, very well, so that you can continue to be relevant. Thank you. Hello?
Hear me
Hello?
now? Hello?
I hope people are hearing me.
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you loud and clear, ma.
We could hear you loud. Thank you so much for response.
Okay, thank you.
Refreshing to know that you have created a product that people actually use. That's one of the essence of this call. Let's see 5 things happening. Kelechi, there's a question for you in the chat. Also, thank you so much, Madam Nina, for the comments that you have left in the chat. Please, let's put our questions in the chat. The panelists can respond to it when they see it before we start the Q&A session. So I want to recognize the presence of Engineer Kunle Olorundare, the Vice President of ISOC Nigeria. Thank you, Engineer, for joining us. And I also think I saw our PRO, Mr. Tijani, also to join the call. So thank you so very much for joining the call. Thank you to everybody, our diasporans and our brothers and sisters from across ISOC chapters. Thank you so much for also joining the call. Okay, so I hope we're taking notes and we have our questions to ask. For you, Mercy, you are a developer and you are like the hands-on person. You do a lot of hard coding and all that. Can you just share with us how your journey started and how it's going? And if you were to counsel anybody who wants to get involved, why should you bother about innovation and technology? What would be your first words, or what would be the words that you say to that person, knowing that you're a developer and it's also not a very easy thing to do, like to be hand coding. So Mercy, tell us your journey into tech and where you are now, where you hope to go to, and your words to anybody who is thinking of also transitioning to tech. Thank you very much. Okay, Mercy, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Chinwe. So on my own, I think when you say being like the hardcore coding, you make it sound so serious. Okay, so I think generally on my own end, it's I read in the chat where someone posted that someone posted some of the values you need as a software developer, like to be valuable in the tech ecosystem or so. And I think software development generally, like a career or maybe breaking into it, or you want to stay consistent or something, like I think it's the second speaker that mentioned it. How me I even got started, it was from, I used to go to the e-library then. I mean, we had an e-library in Akwa Ibom, so I used to go there. And whenever I go there, I see like majorly guys, they'll be like with their laptop and they are busy trying to like type something. They're always on their laptop. And I'm feeling like the odd one, because I mean, it felt so good seeing people on their laptop and with the mind that they are trying to build something. So I got interested, and it was from like being around a circle of persons that I eventually learned this thing, and I'm now like into software development, and it has come to be the only career, like the only thing I know, no other like skill outside or something. So what it took was being with people that do the same thing, you know, being in that community, being around those people. That's what opened me up to opportunities. In short, most of the jobs I've had to do were more of referral, someone like one of the people from the community reaching out and being like, Mercy, this company needs someone for this particular job. Are you available? And I get to like join the company. So it's been more of referrals. It's been more of people reaching out privately. And I didn't really have to like apply for jobs for some time. So like she said, it's you started, like when you find out, I know she also mentioned points about exploring different angles, you know, different areas in tech. Yeah, you should allow yourself to do that. So after exploring, you can also join a community that will keep you motivated and inspired, because you're going to see people that are better, a bit better than you, like better in terms of technical skill. Okay, you're going to see people that are better than you. You're also going to see people that you're better than, and you're going to see people that will make you like aspire for more or something. That's the essence of staying in a community. So my whole tech career life has been a community pushed life. Yeah, it's a community pushed life, because I started with a community. It's the community that have gotten me to this point where I could call myself a software developer, and also sharing what I've done, because I know my first job was majorly, I was doing like basic web development then. For those of us that know, it was just like basic HTML, CSS, and I used to post it on Facebook that, oh, I did this today, I did this styling, I did this snapper, I did that footer, and I think a manager from a company called me if I could come in and start working with them. And I was a bit afraid because I don't even know this thing. I just started, and it was like, I know. We're trying to like bring like minds together, bring people that are interested in this thing together so that we can build a tech community in that location. So that was how I got to join them, and they gave me a house and supported me in some ways for me to stay with them. I was still a student too, so they allowed me work with them while I was still in school. And after then, it's been all community. To me, the success has been working with people and being with like minds. So if I'm to recommend something to anyone, I'm going to tell them, pick a niche you're interested in, and put in all your attention at it. And while you're at it, join similar community, like join community of people that do similar thing, and also talk about your journey, because it makes sense for your close, your circle of friends, your community to know that this is what you do. At least for a fact, I can say that if you ask in my state, Akwa Ibom State, software developers, my name will come up. It doesn't make me the best. It just means that people know what I do. People can associate me to this kind of career. So you have to, while you're at it, let people know what you do. Have a portfolio or something. The major point is let people know what you do, because I mean, we all know someone that knows someone that knows someone. That's how the gig come about. And for staying motivated and inspired, you just need to know, why did I join? Me, I knew, I just had fun. Like, I have fun coding. Like, I really have fun coding. So I really didn't need something external inspiring me or motivating me. I just know I'm really energetic when I get to like really write code. So I just stay on. So for motivation and for inspiration, you just have to be around people that do something similar to what you do. That's how my whole journey has been.
All right, thank you. You have launched us into our next topic, which is going to be joining learning communities. And thank you so much, Madam Nena, for all the points you're trying to highlight in the chat. You're actually highlighting. Thank you so much. So you have moved us to our next point. We have Esther Kioni joining us from ISOC. She has a lot of experience with learning communities, with designing learning models, and she's done a lot of work across Africa and across the world. So I would like her to speak to it. The ISOC example, what is ISOC doing? What is ISOC doing in terms of learning communities? And are there specific programs for women to be able to help with this gender, equality thing and all that? So Madam Esther, you have the floor to just speak to that. Before we now bring it home to ISOC Nigeria, where Madam Buki will also highlight some of the things, learning opportunities that ISOC Nigeria has for our members. So Esther Kioni, it's glad to have you on the call. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be here. ISOC Nigeria appreciates you. We, the women in ISOC Nigeria, also appreciate you. So you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Chinwe. First and foremost, I want to say I'm speaking from Nairobi, so I'm still in the continent. That is important. I'll start off by saying that the late Professor Nobel Peace Prize winner, Professor Wangari Maathai, who was a Kenyan, said she was an environmentalist, and she said most of the times, do something. What is your small thing that you do in life? For her, she said her small thing was to dig a hole, get on her knees, and plant a tree. And she planted many trees. She advocated a lot for the environment. And I'm saying that because the question is, what is each one of us doing? For me, the small